Hello and good morning, evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session where you can find out how to always stay on the safe side using automation and how you can be compliant with automated discovery. Before we get started, I'd like to just let you know that you can submit text questions to today's presenter by typing your question into the questions pane of the control panel. I would like now to introduce Cosmin Rus, who is the product manager for Universal Discovery and CMDB, and he will present the automation session today. Cosmin, I hand over to you now.
Hi, everyone, and welcome for a new SMEX session. My name is Cosmin Rus. I'm product manager for UDN Discovery. And today we're going to go a little bit towards the autopilot compliance with automated discovery. And I know it sounds a little bit complex, but we're going to simplify this and see how we can extract the value out of this use case. So first, let's have a deep dive to understand what is the discovery process, how to benefit from discovery, and of course, to have some discovery use cases for service management, and later to have a look over the demo. Now, starting with the beginning, when we say discovery, what does actually discovery mean, right? And here we can see there's multiple things that we can discover currently, like like inventory, like virtualization and cloud, load balancers, databases, application, and not the least, storage discovery and network discovery. Overall, there's a bunch of items that can be discovered, and most of the time it's a highly complicated picture to understand, but we're going to go through all this process and see how we can simplify. Now, the question is, how do we benefit out of this in SMEX? In order to simplify things, we can have a look over this picture. So overall, the data quality and the data dependency is the main factor that allows you to see the dependency between services and application, as well as tracking install software and configuration chain. Right. Now, why would you use the discovery? What would be the main discovery use cases, right, for service management? And here are a few to mention, which are mentioned as the clever use cases, so it would be much easier for you to remember this. First, it's cloud transformation. Most of the data is driven by migrating towards the cloud. Then enterprise service management, vulnerability detection, endpoint discovery, and of course, risk and compliance. Now, in our case, we're going to focus in the next demo of all the vulnerability detection. We all know that currently the vulnerability is a buzzword and everyone is interested into. And now let's have a look over the demo. In today's video, I'm going to present how we can use SMEX to automate an end-to-end flow and make the data compliant again, data that we discover from our environment. First, let's have a deep dive and understand the discovered data. So here we have three zones that we're discovering. We're discovering data in AVS, Azure, and Google. As you can see, we have multiple CI types that are being discovered here. We're going to focus only on the Windows CI type for the purpose of the demo, but the same logic can be applied on any CI type. Same data can be also seen in Azure. We're going to choose only the Windows CI type. Now that we've seen the discovered data, here we have a compliance report created. that currently shows that everything that has a virus scanner attached or installed on it, it's compliant. Anything that doesn't have a virus scanner deployed on it, it's considered as not compliant, right? So we're going to have a look over the installed software, and the one that we're currently focused on is the McAfee virus scan. And here we can see some details about it. Now the not compliant data does not have this installed software. So I'm going to show to you that the policy is being breached, that it's missing something from its topology, and this is the current McAfee virus scanner. Now, in order to fix this problem, we have a scheduler here created that gets the compliant data from CMS. And once this is running, right, we're going to automatically retrieve the not compliant CIs, and we're going to create a main flow to remediate this. In order to do so, here we will have a main flow that is going to address these not compliant Windowses, and then a subflow. The important note here is that the subflow will run in parallel for multiple Windowses. So in order to make data compliant, we're going to create incidents for all the Windowses that are marked as non-compliant, and we will add all the details here in the incidents. And these are going to be used by our subflow. Here in the incidents, you also saw the message that there's some data missing here that should be presented. And here we have the main flow. The main flow also includes the remediation flow. So basically, we have a compliance check, and after that, we're going to remediate the flow, update the policy check, and then finally close this incident. If you're going to see the remediation flow, we have the creation of the incident, the install of McAfee virus scan, and then closing the incident. And basically, once we manage to finish this, the rediscovery process is going to run again, and then we'll have the new results, and we can see here that now the data is all green, all the data is compliant. And if we're going to explore this and go to the install software, we're going to see now that we do have a McAfee virus scanner deployed. The same thing can be also seen in text mode, and of course here you can go ahead and export this if you want. And if you want more details, you can also use the inventory to see all the installed software that you have on each Windows. And here we can see that virus scan is now being deployed. And to see the overall value of this feature, imagine that, for example, you have services that are relying on these Windowses, and basically they are connected right to this Windows machine. So everything which is flagged as non-compliant will immediately affect the service, or the service is running on top of these Windows. If we're going back, another important part of this feature is that by using the latest feature that we have, impact, it will show you the direct impact that a particular CI that might be vulnerable could impact the service.
Okay, great. Thank you, Cosmin, for the demo. We will go now to the QA session. So I want to remember you that you can still use the question panel in order to ask your questions in regards to discovery. So let's go and take a few questions. Good. Let's see. So first question for you, Cosmin. Is this UCMDB containerized or the classic one?
It can be actually both. We have the same functionality that can be available as well as classic and containerized.
Okay, let's go to the next one. What parts of this functionality can be actually used natively in SMAX? And if you can talk a little bit about how CMS integrates into SMAX, what are the capabilities that SMAX customers have access to, and of course how you can expand on that.
So first of all, you can see the discovery process as being like a standalone or an independent process that you can actually, there's a separate module that you need to access in which you'll need to configure an IP ranges and configure what would you like to have discovered. And after this, the data that you have discovered inside CMDB is going to go to some phases like normalization and reconciliation, as you might bring some data from outside, meaning that not only discovery, but integrating with, let's say, with a third-party product. And once you have the data in CMDB, this data can be referenced in SMAX. You can create incidents based on this data and tie these incidents to the existing CIs. In the current process, we just highlighted one of the cases, like for example, that we flagged as one Windows as being non-compliant, but you can do multiple things. You can leverage the TQL definition in CMDB, which gives you the power to actually flag all the data, no matter whether it's Windows or whether it's encryption for the data, whether it's, for example, whether you query for space on for some of these CIs, you can create all kinds of policies or queries, which of course these policies and queries, they can be included in a scheduler, and based on this schedule you can create multiple flows on preventing issues from happening or trying to fix this. But overall, the discovery, once it's configured and running, it's always running and will detect the new changes. So for example, if you deployed some new solution or configuration, discovery is going to figure out this again, and it's going to report in UCMDB. And basically in UCMDB, you're going to see the overall picture or the overall dashboard to collect this over the data.
Great, thank you, Cosmin. Another question. So in the demo, you showed discovery in terms of an application that was not installed or installed on the system. What other types of discovery do you have? What can you discover on the systems? So
currently, I just highlighted that I flagged, for example, Windows as being non-compliant because it doesn't have the antivirus scanner. But imagine that you can flag higher order CIs, meaning like business application, business services, and you can mark this as being not compliant because of their underlying data. So basically, I could specifically go ahead and say that all IPs should have a certain pattern, that, for example, if the pattern is not the one that I agree or does not respect the convention from my company, then I could immediately say that, this service is currently at risk, right? And especially, for example, if I have a plan to upgrade all the machines that I'm running for, or for example, I'm having a Unix server that I'm planning to upgrade with some more memory, and by default, all the servers that I'm relying my business or maybe some potential high importance business to have about 64 gigabytes of RAM allocated to them, and I don't have this fulfilled. Basically, I can flag that the service is at risk because the underlying Windows or machine are currently at risk. So all that I've showed previously, and maybe I can go to the slide and show to you. So everything that I presented here, right? And let me try to show the complete picture. So everything that I presented in terms of application, database, load balancers, virtualization, and cloud infrastructure. So everything it's currently available in UCNDB and can be discovered and used in the process.
Okay, and a follow-up on the same. So is this coming as content that can be expanded?
Yeah. So all the discovery that you see here is based on the content pack that we're releasing each 3 months. So basically, when we start adding more and more CIs, you will manage to benefit out of deploying this content pack. So more CI is going to be added. Of course, in some cases, there might be some particular solution that you might be able to add some custom solution or integrate some data. That's also possible to do.
Awesome, great. Okay, let's go to the next one. Is there any difference in results of discovery if I use cloud instead of servers in my data center?
Yes, there is. So in our solution, is not that we just retrieve the list of an item. Usually, the tricky part is to identify what is currently running on those servers, not to retrieve the list. And usually, there's less information on knowing about the server itself or the purpose itself. Yeah, everyone can look and understand that they have a server deployed on a server, but they don't actually understand what's that currently running, what's installed on this service, whether it's maybe some kind of software running that might be vulnerable to libraries such as Log4j or something else. So it's the deeper level of discovery and the level of details that I think is the difference that you can get out of discovery.
Got it. So you can do discovery on both cloud and your own data center, right? But there will be just slight differences. Okay. Will this approach that you were talking about work on servers and desktop as well, or is just for the server part? How this?
Yeah, we cover both. You can endpoint discovery as well. If you're checking also into discovery of laptops and computers, personal computer, all this is covered.
Got it. There is an interesting question, is more related to a use case, so maybe we will have a follow-up for more details, but maybe you have some thoughts on this. Is it possible to, for example, let's say that you have a number of authorized softwares that can be installed on a machine. Is it possible to discover if there are unauthorized software that are installed? In the demo, we did pretty much the other way, right? To discover, okay, what software is not installed, and it should. But is it possible to have the other way around, if there is a software that is installed and it shouldn't?
Yeah, so basically, it can be done. It will require a little bit of work, because usually we're leveraging here the TQL engine, in which maybe you can specify that I would like to have a software which is within a list or something like this. And basically everything that is currently deployed and is not within this list, then probably we can flag it as being not compliant, right? Or you can create multiple policies and expect something like expect this software to be applied, and whether it's something that is out of this out of this scope, to mark it as non-compliant. We didn't currently have such use case. Usually customers, they are looking into particular things like, for example, what's the version of a certain software that they have deployed, whether it's something smaller than X version or something like this, to understand whether it's a threat or not, something like that. But probably, yeah, you can define multiple policies using the TQL engine, and you can refer to related items as well within the same policy. So yeah, you can flag, some data as being non-compliant if it's not matching the expected output that you expected.
Okay, sounds great. Good. So yeah, I think that were all the questions. Let me just check once again. Yeah, that is it. Good. Thank you very much, Cosmin, for the presentation, and thank you everyone for attending today's session. I want to remind you that if you have any questions or any feedback, you can send it to us on smextember@microfocus.com. Again, any question that you have in mind, or even if it's not related to the automation week, you can ask it there, and you can bring your feedback. Okay, next up, tomorrow on Wednesday, we will have a customer use case. It will be a customer talking, so please make sure that you book the session of tomorrow. As well, we will continue on Thursday with another session on automation. We will have Alex talking about how we can save cloud costs using automation. So if you are interested into learning more about hybrid cloud management and how automation is doing an important work in hybrid cloud management, please join us on Thursday as well. Okay. Again, thank you everyone for joining, and I hope that today's session was helpful. And any information that you need, don't hesitate to contact us. I wish you a great day, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all.